What is going on, guys? Back at it again for another video. You guys know who it is. It's your boy Kevin. Okay, man, so I know I've been doing a lot of boxing videos. I know you guys been telling me, yo, Kevin, check this one out, Kevin, check that one out. You guys really enjoy when I do boxing videos. So anyways, one of you guys sent me this one. It's called Horrible Childhood of Famous Boxers, man. Horrible Childhoods of Famous Boxers, man. So apparently these are all the boxers who had horrible childhoods, and then now they're like super famous, like boxers, you know, everyone loves them and adores them. So like, you know what, let me check that one out. This seems like one I would want to do and share it with you guys, okay, man? But before we get into the video, make sure you guys give me a big thumbs up on the video, comments down below, turn that post notification bell on. Let's get to the damn reaction, man. Let's do it. Let's go.
Millions of fans around the world see their heroes earning fabulous fees for a fight, living a luxurious life and not denying themselves in anything. However, only a few know that once some of them did not have money for food and home, and only firm character and desire for a better life allowed them to succeed and break out of poverty. Today, I'd like to tell you how some boxers made their way through poverty and hunger for the title of world champion and a chance for a better life. This video was made with the support of the 1xBet bookmaker company. There are always high rates and big winnings. Register on the website of the bookmaker's leader because there is always something to bet on.
I know Manny's definitely on this, man.
If you believe that the worst thing that can happen with you is when you do not have a home, money for food, and you will live on the street, then you do not know the history of international super welterweight champion Kassim Ouma, who already at the age of 6 had only one exit: to kill or to be killed.
Wow.
This is a man who really shouldn't even be here right now. The fact that he is still alive is utterly incredible.
When Kassim Ouma was 6 years old in his motherland Uganda, civil war was gaining momentum. One day the rebel army came and kidnapped all the boys from the class of the primary school where Ouma studied, and whether they wanted or not, starting at that moment on, they became soldiers of the Museveni National Resistance Army.
I did not know that.
And they said, right here, there's no mommy, there's no daddy. If you cry, you're dead.
Kassim was given an AK-47 assault rifle.
Holy
He was ordered to shoot and kill. The choice was simple: to kill or to be killed.
I did kill people.
Wow.
I was like 8.
8 years old, killing
I was
people
one
already.
little kid, just trying to follow orders.
That is sad, man.
Because if I didn't do it, they would take my life.
Right?
When the rebel army won the war, Ouma turned from a rebel soldier into a soldier of the country's legitimate national army. There were advantages because he joined the army's boxing team and became a champion among amateurs. He was selected to participate in the Olympics in Atlanta 1996, but at that time he did not go to America. There was no money to pay for the trip. The next year, he was invited to the World Boxing Championship in the United States. Ouma found a sponsor for the flight from Kampala to Washington. He arrived in America alone in February 1998, leaving his wife and 2 children at home. He made sure that he would not return back, which meant that he was now a deserter in his homeland and was facing a death sentence.
Oh,
He did
man,
not have money
terrifying.
for a taxi, and he was just walking along the road until he was picked up by an immigrant from Ghana who worked as a taxi driver and took him to a budget motel, which was more popular among drug addicts than tourists. The motel owner made friends with Ouma, and when he discovered that he was a boxer, he told him he knew former world champion Joe Frazier to have gym in Philadelphia and Sugar Ray Leonard in Maryland. Kassim bought a bicycle and decided to ride it on a 6-lane interstate highway to Philadelphia
Oh
or
my
Maryland.
God.
The cops stopped him and gave him a lesson in geography. Philadelphia and Maryland were too far to get there pedaling on a bike. He came back. He needed another plan. He got a job in a pizzeria and worked part-time as a postman. However, he did not throw newspapers into a box, but personally gave them to the tenants in order to ask local people about any boxing hall in the district.
I was knocking on everybody's door and asked them same question. Boxing gym, anywhere? Boxing gym? What? I said anywhere. Boxing gym around here, in the area?
He found the nearby Alexandrian Boxing Club. Kassim returned to training, and a few months later he went to see the Golden Gloves tournament. One of the fighters refused to fight, and then Ouma went to the ring and took his place. As a result, Kassim Ouma won that tournament.
Wow.
Thanks to the victory, Ouma drew attention of managers who 6 years later led him to the fight for the IBF International belt against
You never know,
Phillips.
man. You
Kassim
never know.
fulfilled his dream and became a champion. In his track record, there are fights against Marco Antonio Rubio, Jermaine Taylor, Vanessa Martirosyan, and also Gennady Golovkin, who although finished this fight in the 10th round, but at the time he stopped, he minimally led by points on cards of the referees. So hard was the fate of Kassim Ouma, for whom boxing had become a ticket to a better life.
All right. Look all these kids looking up and admiring him, man. Oh, Manny Pacquiao, man. I'm sure you guys waiting for this one. Let's hear your story.
The next story I would like to tell you is about the childhood of the legendary Manny Pacquiao.
Legendary,
Up to 10
yes.
years old, Pacquiao has never seen TV and has never been to the city.
Wow.
In the town, and that first time that I saw the car, and I'm so scared with the car. I said, "Oh, what is that?" The television is. I was so amazed because, I saw a lot of people in this, what is it, in the screen, and I go, at the back at the television and looking for, there's a lot of people there.
He lived with his parents, sister and 2 younger brothers in a one-room hut in Tango in the severe landscape of coconut groves, dense jungles and coastal mountains 50 kilometers south of General Santos. The boxer who bought the Beverly Hills mansion for $12 million lived a life of extreme poverty. His father, Rosalia, chopped up to 70 trees a day to collect coconuts, struggling to earn enough money to feed his family.
Wow.
Pacquiao and his family were poor even according to the meager standards of other residents of the village of Tango. His uncle, Benito Bequia, who used to take him on fishing trips, recalls that their life was so hard that they rarely see rice to appear on the table. Amurna Adrina remembers Manny's mother, her cousin, who was loving and resourceful, but strict. Once when he was 7 or 8 years old, she tied Manny with coconut for half an hour, allowing the ants to bite him, as the punishment for not returning home on time. But he did not cry. The family lived eating bananas and root crops. They did not have rice most of the time. Manny wore ragged clothes. It is hard to imagine that he is so rich and famous today. It's like a dream, she told. When the family of Pacquiao moved to the city, Manny was selling water and bread. At that time in his life appeared a new passion, boxing. When he started, he did not have any muscles at all, and I could not believe that he could ever become a fighter, recalls Mejia, the first coach of Pacquiao. After I have been training him for 6 months, I said to myself, this boy will become the world champion. He had always had great self-discipline. He taught everything so quickly. He was training all the time. He got up at 4 in the morning for jogging. Pacquiao started boxing in an open-air park in the city of General Santos, beating all comers. Then he traveled to the city of Davao, 150 kilometers away, to try himself with stronger rivals. For 3 years, he established himself as the best young boxer in the south of the Philippines. At first, his mother was against the idea that Manny was involved in boxing. She wanted to see him as a priest, but boxing quickly began to give the first money. Pacquiao received 100 pesos for the fight.
Wow.
It was about $2 for which you could buy 25 kilograms of rice. His mother accepted the passion of her son and allowed him to quit trading on the streets. $2 fights were not the greatest ambitions of the young
$2
Pacquiao,
fights.
and he decided to leave his family and sail to Manila to continue his studies. His coach for many years, Freddie Roach, commented on the decision
Wow,
of
so
young Manny Pacquiao
my
in the
God.
following way. He ran away from home after his father ate their dog, and he lived on the street. He slept in the cardboard box. He fought his way through all this, and look at the man he is today. And really, only after reaching the capital, he decided to call up and tell about his decision to his mother. However, instead of fighting, Pacquiao gets a job as a metal cutter in a landfill. In the ring, he spends time only at night. He trains there, he sleeps there, he has no money to rent a room.
I didn't have any relatives to live with in
Oh my
Manila,
God.
so I sleep in the ring at night. I wanted to become a professional boxer, so I went to sign up for a boxing license. They told me the required age is 18, but I was only 16. So I lied and told them I was 18 years old.
Wow.
At that time, I weighed 98 pounds, which was 10 pounds under the minimum weight. So in order to make weight, I put heavy objects in my pockets to make me heavier.
Oh, shit. Are you guys hearing
Manny
this?
Pacquiao felt the taste of fame being 16 years old. Due to the owner of the sports club, a talented student got a place in a boxing TV show, where the guy became a star. At that time, Pacquiao was far from the technique of professional boxing, and he simply fought in the ring. But he did it so gambling that the audience was completely thrilled. Having become famous in Asia, the athlete went to conquer America, where no one expected him. Initially, coaches avoided a shrimpy Filipino with a height of 1.69 meters. It was Freddie Roach who guessed a star in the sky.
I always said, you never know when the next Muhammad Ali's gonna walk through your door. You never know. And then one day, this little Filipino
Freddie
kid,
Roach.
122 pounds, and he comes up to me, could barely speak English. His manager, Mr. Nazario, says, we hear you're pretty good on the mitts. I says, I'm okay. And he says, this is Manny Pacquiao. He said, will you work the mitts with him? I said, sure. After one round, we clicked like we knew each other our whole lives. We didn't miss a punch. I went over to my corner and I said, wow, can this kid fight? He went to Mr. Nazario and said, we have a new trainer.
A short fight with Pacquiao convinced the coach that a short Asian boy has a brilliant future. Thus, the star biography of Pac-Man began. Well,
Pac-Man.
you know what was next. The rapid career which has brought Manny to a champion's title in 8 weight categories and
8.
the rank of one
Damn,
of the best
we all
and
know
most
that, though.
successful boxers in the history of boxing.
If the greatest, man. I gotta say, he's
I have
probably the
never
greatest.
seen him. Frankly, I've never heard of him, but I've seen and heard of him now.
And you want to see him
And
again?
I want to see him again.
I do too.
He was definitely someone people weren't expecting, man. No one was expecting this guy. But he's just knocking out the big names. Pure will, man. Pure willpower. And Wolf.
Let's move on to one of the most remarkable women we have ever run across. Her name is Ann Wolf, and even though she's still a relatively young woman, she has lived a lot of life. Ms. Wolf spent time in prison for dealing drugs, lived homeless for a while, and for many years seemed to have no future beyond crime and poverty. But then, by chance, she saw a woman boxing on TV. And with that, Wolf found not just her life's calling, but also a sport that has nurtured her in and out of the ring.
Ann Wolf is considered to be one of the best female boxers in the history of this sport. She kept the champion belts in 3 weight
Wow.
categories at the same time and is rightly considered the hardest puncher among the women.
Oh, shit!
But everything did not start happily at all. Ann Wolf grew up in the house where there was no electricity and running water. The family had 6 children, 3 boys and 3 girls. Life was hard. Everyone had to work, and to work hard. In the 7th grade, Wolf left school. Her mother was ill and they did not have food. She had no choice but to quit school, make money and take care of a mother. Wolf's mother died of cancer when Ann was 18 years old. Since that time, Ann Wolf started selling cocaine and marijuana on the street, and predictably, that it ended up with imprisonment for 9 months in Florida prison. After I got out of prison, my dad was shot, and I continued to live. Then my older brother, whom my mother raised, was killed. He tried to rob a store in Texas and was shot. At the age of 22, Wolf had 2 children and was homeless. She needed a new beginning. She had to turn the page and move to Austin in Texas. When I first came to Austin because I was homeless, I started working there where you are working all the day and then you get money. I worked there where they gave me a sledgehammer to tear down several buildings. Wolf and her 2 children often took refuge in the emergency department. The waiting room was open all night, and while her children were sleeping, Ann watched TV. One night she saw 2 women in the ring. She asked the old woman that was sitting next to her if they were paid for it. The woman turned to Ann and said, "Honey, if this is on TV, sure they get paid for it." The next morning, she went to search for a boxing hall. In such a way, the boxing story of Ann Wolf began, which eventually ended with 24 victories in professional ring and 1 defeat, and also the title of one of the best female boxers in the history of this sport.
Wow. Ooh, KO.
Probably the best knockout punch I've ever seen in female boxing. Absolutely. Ever.
Wow. Ooh. That looks painful. Definitely not someone I want to run into. And there's Mr. Manny. Mr. Manny.
Thank you for watching the...
Damn, man. I don't know. After watching that, man, some of these boxers, man, their story is so sad, man. Like Ann Wolf, like her mama died. She left school. And then her dad got shot, her brother got shot. Like, she just lost everyone, so no wonder why she's like quickly went off to drugs, man. Damn, that's a hard childhood to go through. And then Pacquiao, man. Pacquiao was like the poorest of the poor, man. Like, legit at the bottom of like the poorest of the poorest. Like, and he made something of himself, man. Even when his aunt or his mom was so strict with him, he still made something of himself. And he followed his dreams, man, when he found out what he wanted to really do. And I'm quite surprised, man, and he's still humble. Like, the part about him when Pacquiao was saying about the TV, he never saw a TV till he was 10, and he went behind the TV like, what is this? These are the people. And the car kind of scared him because it's the first time he saw a car. I was like, whoa, man, that's some real, like, super poor. But what I realized, he still he's like still humble about everything, man. And then, man, like, I don't know, this is crazy. I'm gonna watch part 2 of this because I think this seems really interesting. Let me know if what you guys think about this video, man. Put your comments down below if you the first time you guys are watching this. And you know what to do, man. You guys made it all to the end. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button for me right now. Just hit that subscribe button. Give me that thumbs up. All your comments down below. Turn post notification bells on. I'll catch you guys next, alright? Peace.